All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about just sort of how to find central angles and arcs and semicircles and all that good stuff with your questions. So I have some notes on the side, and we're just going to sort of talk about them as we come across them. All right, so it says give a central angle. So the first thing I have on the side is central angle is an angle that goes through the center of the circle. So identify your center and then see what are your options here? Like, what angles go through the center? So I have SPR goes to the center, and I also have RPQ. So those are both options for central angles. So I'm just going to put those over here on the side. So it says angle SPR and angle RPQ. You don't have to put both of them. I think it only gives you the option to put one, but those are your two options. I just don't want you to think, well, which one is it? It's either. It's fine. Okay. So a minor arc is an arc that has a degree of less than 180 degrees. So I know some of you guys are like, what the heck's an arc? So an arc is sort of like part of the circumference of the outside. So when I say circumference, I mean like the edge of the circle. So an arc is like that, like that. It can be that big. It can be, that much. It's just part of the outside of the circle. So a minor arc is one that has less than 180 degrees. Now remember, a straight line is 180 degrees, and it tells you very specifically where your straight line is, right? So I have SPQ. I know that this is a straight line because this is right here, right? And that's my center, and then this is a radius, and that's a radius, and together it's a diameter, and I know that that is 100 degrees. So it goes through half of the circle, so that's 180 degrees. So any arc that you identify that is less, that doesn't go from one side to the other, so it doesn't go more than half of the circle, is a minor arc. So a minor arc is less than 180 degrees. So I can say my minor arc is, I don't want that one, is this guy right here. It can be this, it can be that, it can be this. So you have four options for minor arcs that are right there. Technically you have more than that, but you have lots of options of minor arcs. So I'm just going to choose one real quick. So let's just say I do, I'm going to do this, and there's a specific reason why I'm choosing this one. So when you write an arc, you have to put two endpoints and a point in the middle. So you have to have 3 points on the line. So even though this is a minor arc, there isn't any points listed in between. And you have to have those 3 points because if you say QT, you could say, oh, that's QT, but technically this is also QT. And one of them is major and one of them is minor. So you have to be able to identify which one you want. So when you do this one, I'm just going to say RQT, and I think this is going to be the only one you technically can put because any other 3 points is going to be more than 180. So your minor arc option that you can actually write in this one is going to be RQT, and you can write it as TQR. It's the same thing, and because again, to write that arc, you have to put the endpoints, right? And then the middle. So it doesn't matter if it's in the opposite order, it's still identifying the same thing. So I'm just going to put RQT, and remember when you write your arc, you're putting that over your arc. Because like, remember when you're writing a line, you would put RQT, and that would be a line. So this shows an arc, that shows a line, and it already has that in the questions that have those. So you don't actually have to write them, but just know that at some point you're probably going to have to physically put that arc symbol in there, and I want you to know what that is. Okay, so semicircle. I am just going to sort of say that a semicircle is at least half of a circle, right? So you have, that's your halfway mark. So your arc of that was horrible. Hold on. Would be this dude right here. So again, when you're writing an arc, you have to identify the two endpoints. So your two endpoints would be, whoop, that's not right. Your two endpoints would be S and Q, with your middle point being R. And then you put that arc on top. Okay? And then it says find the angle, the measure of arc QR. So again, go in and identify QR. Okay? And then I have some notes on the side, and it says the measure of an arc is equal to the central angle. So if, because sometimes you're going to have ones that come out and touch this side right here, but this question doesn't identify that. So this rule only applies if the angle that it's looking at, if the arc that it's attached to ends at the center. Okay, so this has a point in the center. So like this is your angle, and then the arc is attached to it. That's the only time this rule applies. Because there's a specific rule if it goes all the way out. It's a different rule. So because it goes from this side to the middle, and I'm trying to find the measurement of that. If it is like this, the angle of that, the measurement of the angle is the same as the arc. Okay, so because this angle is 75 degrees, the arc is also 75 degrees. Actually, I'm going to write that to the side so you can see it better. So that is 75 degrees. Okay. So we're going to do this again with a different one, right? And it's QTS. So Q, that's my first point. T is my middle, and I keep going, and S. Now we've already identified that this is your halfway mark, that this is your straight line, and technically this is an angle because it is, through the center, has 2 points going out. A straight line is still an angle, and I always ask you guys this: what is it? What is the measurement of a straight line? It is 180 degrees. So because this is 180 degrees and it is going through the center, this arc is 180 degrees also. Okay? Now, that's all you need to know for this quiz. If I miss something and you're like, I don't know what I'm talking about, just let me know. Come see me and we'll talk about it. Or if you guys just want another example, just let me know. So good luck, guys.